Hi lovely people, welcome to today's video. About a month ago I shared with you my spring-summer capsule wardrobe, specifically the 10 item wardrobe by Jennifer L. Scott. It's the first time that I tried this process of putting together a capsule wardrobe. I have done capsule wardrobes for the past quite a few years actually. So I'm used to working with a capsule wardrobe, but not specifically this system of putting it together. So I wanted to try the 10 item wardrobe out for myself. It was something that I'd known about for quite a while, but never quite tried it out, and I felt like I might actually really like the system. So very shortly, if you want to know more about it, go watch my previous video in which I share my 10 item wardrobe for spring-summer 2025. But very quickly, if you don't know about the system, you basically have 10-ish core items. These are what you're mainly going to be wearing and what you will be building your outfits around. And then you have your extras, which are basically just the pieces that you need to round out your outfits and really make your wardrobe work for you for that season. She also clearly states that the 10 items are not a specific rule, it's more like a loose guideline, so it's fine if you have a few more or a few less pieces than the 10 core items. So if you want to check out my initial 10 item wardrobe and my extras, I will make sure to link that video for you so you can check it out for yourself. Anyway, I have been trying out this system for the past month and I have to say I really like it. However, I did end up kind of missing a few pieces. So I will be sharing a few changes that I made in my 10 item wardrobe since starting this, and to really make it work for me, because I will actually be continuing this capsule wardrobe for the rest of summer. I'm just opening up my wardrobe app. I'm using Index. If you are interested in checking out my entire wardrobe, I will have my Index linked down below, so you can actually have a little look at my entire wardrobe and what that looks like. I'm specifically filtering on my spring-summer capsule wardrobe, which I added a little tag. I love that you can do that. And with the changes that I made, I ended up having 36 pieces in total. So that also includes my shoes. I don't think I have bags in here, but I only have a few bags. So let's start with my core pieces, because that is where most of the changes were made. So I now have 13 core pieces in this capsule wardrobe. And I actually ended up taking out one of the core pieces. If you've seen that last video, you will already know that I was kind of debating if that should be a core piece or if it should be in my extras. I don't think I ended up wearing it this month. No, I did not. So I ended up migrating that to my extras because it is a really nice item to have in there. Like, I do kind of foresee myself wearing it at some point, and I wanted to be able to reach for it, but it was not something that I was wearing as much to actually feel like it needed a place in my core items. Let's check actually with my core items if I wore every single piece. There is only one item in my core items that I did not end up wearing this month, and that is my little Cezanne dress. I do love that dress. I do still think it deserves a place in my core items because I do tend to wear that a lot in summer, but I've just been gravitating towards some of my other pieces more, and that is fine. Otherwise, I wore all of my core items. So I did end up taking out that blouse, and then I did end up adding two pieces actually. So the first piece that I added was a pair of pants. These were actually in my homewear capsule, I guess, my loungewear capsule. These are also something that I tend to wear when teaching yin classes. But for some reason, I've been reaching quite a bit for them. Like, I've worn them as full-blown outfits 4 times in the last month. And that is quite a bit. So I figured they would deserve a place in my core items. They are kind of like a flannel-y material, so they are a bit warmer. I think it would be even better if I would have this style in like a linen material, but I don't have that, and I do still like the style of these, so for now these are in my core items. which also means that they are the only pants, the only trouser in my core items, and I don't mind that actually. I think, yeah, I've only worn jeans which were in my extras. I have 2 pairs of jeans in my extras. I've only worn jeans once this entire month, which is insane because I tend to wear jeans quite a bit usually. But that kind of goes to show that using your core items to kind of start your outfit with, you end up wearing slightly different things, and I love that. I felt like every single outfit that I wore this month was so incredibly me, and that's fantastic. So I love that about the core item system, I guess. I ended up adding those pants, and then I also ended up adding my Sonderfloor dress. So I did have my Sonderfloor skirt in my core items. Love that, worn that so much. But I found a few times during this last month I kind of really wanted to reach for my Sonderfloor dress. I did not end up doing so. I just ended up reaching for something else, like for example this dress that I'm currently wearing by Daughters of India. Also love that dress, love Daughters of India in general, beautiful pieces. But there were a few times that I kind of wanted to wear that Sonderfloor dress and I felt like I couldn't because it wasn't in my capsule wardrobe. So I ended up adding that into my core items as well. I feel fantastic in it, so I felt like I don't care for the fact that I end up having 13 core pieces because of that. I want to be able to reach for that dress. Then for the extras, I changed through 2 things in my extras. So the first thing that I changed is that blouse by Uniqlo, by Comptoir des Couturiers. I think it's a collaboration piece between the 2. I took that out of my core items and added it into my extras. Why? Because I do still want to be able to actually wear that and be able to reach for it, but I didn't feel like it quite fit into my core pieces because it wasn't something that I was reaching for over and over again that I really wanted to build my outfits around for summer. So that migrated into my extras because I do still like the blouse. I do still like it for summer because it's so breezy, but I think mainly because of the dark color, it didn't quite feel like one of my core pieces. And then I also ended up adding one more cardigan into this wardrobe. It's a very simple cotton cardigan. I thought I would be okay with just having the striped cardigan and then the striped sweater in cotton, so 2 cotton layering pieces. But in the end, they were both in the wash and I wanted a cotton layer piece because the wool was just too warm. So I ended up adding that in as well, and I'm glad that I did. I've worn all 3 quite a bit, usually in the mornings or more later afternoons when it is a bit chillier. The thing is, in the Netherlands the weather can kind of range a lot from day to day. Like you can have 18, 15 degrees one day and then the next it can be 25 degrees. It's happened in this past month. We are kind of getting weather anywhere from like 18, 17, 18 I guess degrees all the way up to 30 degrees during summer. We've had those this month, like it's a pretty big range, and I wear wildly different things for both kinds of weather. So it's been nice to have that extra layering piece in there. I don't think I wore my wool cardigans at all. No, I did not wear those, which is fine. I didn't really expect to be wearing them a lot for summer, but I do still want to have them in there because, like I said, if the weather does go a bit cooler, they are just very nice to have around. So I'm still going to keep them in my extras, even if I may not end up really wearing them. That's fine. Let's see, what did I and did I not wear? I did not wear one of my jeans. I did not end up wearing 2 of my t-shirts, like short sleeve t-shirts. I think I ended up wearing all of my long sleeve t-shirts. Yep. So 1 jeans I didn't wear, 2 t-shirts I didn't wear, and then 2 wool cardigans I did not end up wearing in the past month. These are all pieces that I do still want to keep in my little capsule wardrobe, in my extras, because depending on the weather, it's really nice to have them. So even if the weather didn't really call for them this month and there were other pieces that I kind of reached for instead of those pieces, I still want to be able to reach for them. So I'm keeping them in here, which means that in total I end up having 36 pieces for this capsule wardrobe, which is a pretty standard capsule wardrobe for me. I think it's good to know that in general I already don't have a huge wardrobe, so this is actually most of my spring summer related pieces anyway. I think my entire wardrobe in total would be about 70 pieces, so it's about half of my wardrobe that I'm actively wearing through this capsule wardrobe, and I like that. So could I technically do with less pieces in this wardrobe? Yes, I absolutely could. But am I going to take them out right now? No, I will not. I do think that using this system for your wardrobe can be really valuable, especially if you have a very big wardrobe and you want to kind of try out the concept of a capsule wardrobe. I love starting out with those core pieces and then kind of building out from there. And like I said, I've really noticed that June is kind of walking and playing around, so if you hear her nails clicking on the floor, you know why. Where was I? So yeah, kind of starting out with your core pieces in mind and building your outfits around those is actually a really good way to dial in on your style and, like I said, really feel like myself during this past month. Like, I loved my outfits. I think there was maybe one outfit. Yeah, there was one outfit that I didn't really love wearing. Yeah, but otherwise, this was really good. So highly recommend that you try this way of building a capsule wardrobe, I guess, if you're interested in trying it. I also do think that in future, this can actually be super helpful to not buy as many items, because I already know, like, hey, I don't need more than this. I could absolutely just have this as like a summer wardrobe. Even then, like I said, I didn't wear all of the pieces. Also, it really makes you think, like, if you add in one piece and you want to add something else in, is that something better than something else that you already have in there? Like, it really makes you think a little bit more like that, which means that you'll end up building a really solid wardrobe, especially if you're kind of getting used to the system. Like I said, this is the first time for me using this system. There's definitely room for improvement for me. Like I already said, I already changed a few things in this wardrobe, but in general, this worked so well for me and I really do love this system. So yeah, I'm looking at the overview of the outfits that I wore and I'm loving it. I really enjoyed those outfits and this month of outfits. I feel like now I have a super solid summer wardrobe that I absolutely love. Are there still pieces that I want? Yes, of course. But do I need to get them? No, because this works for me and this works really well for me. So it's really kind of an exercise to help you feel content with your wardrobe, to make you a bit more mindful about things you may or may not add into your wardrobe. And I highly recommend it. Also, just if you want to develop your personal style a bit more, this is a super nice exercise to do. I did it for a month. I will keep on going with this specific capsule for the rest of summer. Maybe something will change, maybe nothing will change. I'll make sure to let you know if anything does end up changing. It's nice. I like this. Thank you, Jennifer. This is a really good system. And I think I may just end up using the system to build my fall capsule wardrobe as well. So if you want to see that when it's time to go about that, let me know and I will make sure to share that with you as well. I would love to know if you have ever tried a capsule wardrobe in general, but also this specific system of building a capsule wardrobe. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Maybe share it with a friend if you feel like it's helpful for them. June is very restless. With that, thank you so much for watching. I wish you a lovely rest of your day and I will see you in the next one. Bye!